Thomas and the Shortcut, written and told by Boyd Connor. Thomas the tank engine was feeling very important. The fat controller had entrusted him with delivering a special load of freshly baked scones from a bakery in Elsbridge to the vicarage in Wellsworth. "Make sure you get there promptly, Thomas," the fat controller had boomed, checking his pocket watch. "The vicar is expecting them for tea." Thomas puffed away, feeling very responsible. He loved delivering important things, and the smell of warm scones was making his boiler feel extra toasty. As he chuffed along the main line, however, he noticed a small, overgrown track branching off to the left. It was the old Farmer McCall's shortcut, a route the bigger engine sometimes grumbled about as being bumpy and slow. Thomas thought to himself. That track looks much shorter. If I take the shortcut, I'll get to Wellsworth even faster, and the vicar will have his scones with plenty of time to spare. What a clever engine I am. Ignoring the little voice in his firebox that whispered, "Perhaps there's a reason the other engines don't use it much anymore." Thomas puffed boldly onto the forgotten track. Immediately, the ride became much less smooth. The rails were rusty, and weeds tickled Thomas's undercarriage. He bounced and wobbled, and the precious cargo of scones rattled in their basket. "Oh dear," Thomas huffed, trying to keep his wheels on the uneven track. "This isn't quite as speedy as I imagined." The shortcut round through a muddy field where some rather grumpy cows eyed Thomas with suspicion. Then the track dipped down into a small overgrown cutting. Suddenly, Thomas felt his wheels sink. "Oh, bother!" he cried. He was stuck in the soft earth. His wheels spun uselessly, and the smell of warm scones now mingled with the smell of damp soil. Luckily, Percy was puffing along the main line, not too far away. He noticed Thomas was missing, and remembering the old shortcut, decided to investigate. He found Thomas looking rather forlorn, his wheels buried in the mud. "Thomas, what are you doing here?" Percy whistled in surprise. Thomas explained his shortcut plan, his face turning a little red. Percy chuckled kindly and coupled up to his friend. With a steady pull, Percy managed to ease Thomas out of the muddy patch and back onto the slightly less bumpy track. By the time Thomas finally arrived at the vicarage in Wellsworth, the scones were a little squashed, and the vicar was just about to get up on his tea. "Ah, Thomas," the vicar said with a kind smile, "you're here, though you seem to have had a bit of an adventure." Thomas, feeling rather sheepish, explained about the shortcut. The fat controller arrived shortly after, having been informed of Thomas's delay. "Thomas," he said gently, "sometimes the longer way is the quicker way in the end. It's important to stick to the main lines unless you have a very good reason not to. Now, let's get these scones inside before they get even colder." Thomas learned a valuable lesson that day. While shortcuts might seem like a good idea, they often led to unexpected trouble. From then on, Thomas stuck to the main lines and always delivered his important load safely and on time, even if it took a little longer, and he never again underestimated the wisdom of the bigger engines when it came to Fuller's trickier tracks.